The runners are moving into the stalls. Beautiful shot there of the start of the dominant Grand National hurdle race. A great test of not only for the horses but also for the horsemen, the riders. 18 hurdles to get over, and it is the pinnacle of the whole jumping season, the Melbourne Cup over jumps. Now Vinciamo will be the last one to link up. Mick Patton aboard. Lights on for the National, and they're off and racing now. And Sir Agrafo, as usual, missed the start by about 2 lengths, and one of the first out was Royal Pride from the New Zealander Norfolk Dancer. And Sharp As went up third as they come to the first of 18 hurdles. Raft Boy behind them from Quartermaster and Star Count. Karatash has caught out 4 deep early. They were followed by Zealand Grey, and Vinciamo's also wide. The 2 greys very deep. Sir Agrafo tracking them. He'll have to go forward about 7 wide out of the straight with his huge weight. Then Taranui, followed by Belsarie, Dunrow, and last of all was Haven Court. They sweep out of the straight. They go towards a 2,000 metre point on the first lap. And as expected, the favourite Sharp As goes to the lead for Laurie Poltridge. He's looking for the big jump stubble today. He won the crisp earlier on. And Sharp As puts the pace on and leads by 4 lengths. Royal Pride second, a half length away. Norfolk Dancer third, 2 lengths away. Quartermaster to fourth. Then Raft Boy on the inside of Sir Agrafo. About 3 lengths to Karatash, and then Vinciamo, who's got away to the inside. Back behind him was Zealand Grey deep around Star Count. And then came Dunrow, and about 3 lengths away Haven Court is back of the tail with Belsarie. And now Taranui's back in about 4th last placing. Going to the next jump, Sharp As in front, measuring his fence as well. Led by 2.5 lengths to Royal Pride and the New Zealander third, Norfolk Dancer. About 2 lengths away, Quartermaster. 1.5 to Sir Agrafo, who settled well today, the dual Grand National winner. He creates history today if he can do it. About 4 lengths away in 6th placing was Raft Boy. Then Karatash, followed by Dunrow, Vinciamo, Zealand Grey. The 2 greys are together. Royal Pride went straight through that fence and lost ground at it. Back in about 4th last position was Taranui around the outside of Star Count. 3 lengths to Haven Court and 1.5 away Belsarie last of all. They're strung out by 25 lengths, and Sharp As hasn't put a foot wrong. And the favourite led by 4 lengths as he goes for the Grand National double. In second placing, Norfolk Dancer. 5 lengths away third, Royal Pride. A length away, Quartermaster. Sir Agrafo fifth. 4 lengths back then to Raft Boy. Vinciamo getting closer next. A 1.5 away, Dunrow, followed by Zealand Grey and Star Count. Taranui just up in front of him, and then Karatash, and about 6 lengths to Haven Court and Belsarie. They sweep around the top turn, still with a bit over a circuit left to go. And Sharp As is in front. He runs second in this race last year to Sir Agrafo, and he straightens up in the Grand National hurdle with a break of about 3 lengths. Norfolk Dancer in second placing at the first of 3 down the straight. Norfolk Dancer went straight through it. Royal Pride to third, Sir Agrafo fourth, and then Vinciamo on the outside of Quartermaster. Followed by Raft Boy, and Star Count was next as they get over the next one from Karatash, Taranui. Then Dunrow and Zealand Grey wide from Belsarie, and Haven Court at the rear. At the next jump, just outside the winning post, and Sharp As goes to it. 3 lengths in front, jumped it perfectly. Second, Norfolk Dancer, a 1.5 to Royal Pride. Sir Agrafo being ridden along now by Graham Byatt. Then Quartermaster fifth on the inside of Vinciamo, a 1.5 to Star Count, Raft Boy, Taranui deep, and then Karatash, Zealand Grey, Dunrow, Belsarie, and last of all Haven Court. They sweep out of the straight for the final time in the Grand National. 2,000 metres to go. And the leader is Sharp As by a 1.5. Norfolk Dancer was second, a 1.5 to Sir Agrafo and Royal Pride together. Then Vinciamo and Raft Boy starting to go forward out wide. Then Quartermaster, Star Count. 3 lengths away, Taranui and Zealand Grey, and then Karatash, followed by Dunrow. Belsarie second last, and Haven Court back at the rear. A mile to go, 1,600 metres to run, and Sharp As in front, got over that fence about 3 clear. Now Vinciamo gets a spurt, goes to second for Mick Patton, a 1.5 to Sir Agrafo third. Then Raft Boy, Royal Pride, Star Count running on, and they were followed by Norfolk Dancer, a break to Quartermaster, Dunrow, Zealand Grey, Taranui, Haven Court, Belsarie, and Karatash. 1,400 metres to go, and Sharp As still in front. He defies them by 2 lengths, but the grey right on his hammer, Vinciamo. A 2 lengths away third, Raft Boy, and then Star Count. Sir Agrafo's under pressure. Then Royal Pride, followed by Quartermaster, Dunrow, Zealand Grey, Haven Court, Norfolk Dancer's gone, and then Karatash and Taranui. They have about 1,000 metres to go. Sharp as in front, but he can't shake off the grey. And Mick Patton aided by a rails run with Vinciamo goes up the tackle. Sharp as. They're out by about 2.5 to Raft Boy. In fourth placing Star Count, 6 away Royal Pride. Then Quartermaster followed by Zealand Grey, Sir Agrafo, Dunrow, Haven Court and Karatash well back. Approaching the turn, 700 to go and still Sharp as in front. By 2.5 to Raft Boy. Vinciamo's flat. Then Star Count and a long break to Royal Pride and Quartermaster. Coming to the home turn in the Grand National. 600 metres left to travel and it's Sharp as by 2. Raft Boy running on strongly. Then Star Count, Vinciamo. They're the only 4 chances. On straightening up, Laurie Poltridge looks for the big double on Grand National Day. Sharp as 2.5 in front. This brilliant jumper. Will he go one better than last year? At the second last, got over it by a length and a half. Raft Boy picking him up on the outside. Then Star Count, Vinciamo can't stay the 4,800. At the last one, Sharp as up and over by a length. Raft Boy skipped through it, but Sharp as got away in this brilliant jumper, 3 in front. Raft Boy's trying hard, but there's no doubt about it. Sharp as is the best hurdler in Australasia, carrying 69.5 kilos. Laurie Poltridge pushes out the champ to win by 4. Raft Boy second, 8 away Star Count. Vinciamo gallant run 4th, and then Royal Pride, Zealand Grey. Quartermaster, Karatash, Haven Court, Sir Agrafo just couldn't do it. Then Dunrow, Valkyrie, Norfolk Dancer went too hard too early, and Taranui was back at the tail end of the field, and they've all completed the course in the 1990 Grand National Hurdle Race sponsored by Dominant. The favourite, the winner, $1.30 and 70 Sharp as, and you can see why he's the best hurdler in the country with that dashing display. Raft Boy 135 has run second, and Star Count third will pay $1.25. They're the interim tote dividends on the Grand National, and there's no doubt about the winner. Sharp as at the distance. Raft Boy was putting the pressure on. Vinciamo had tried to do it at the 800 metres point. Failed. Raft Boy tried. He skipped through the last one, Raft Boy, but there was so much left in Sharp as. This magnificent animal just pulled away from him in the last 200 metres and has gone on to score easily. Laurie Poltridge rode the winner of the Crisp earlier on, Caledonian Concord. Well, he'll be aboard Sharp as next week as this mighty horse tries to do what Moss Trooper did in 1930, win the big double, the Grand National Hurdle and the Grand National Steeple. And the way he won today, there's, I don't think, anyone on the racetrack that would say he couldn't do it. Magnificent animal. Just have to look at his record. The 6-year-old who didn't start until he was 4 years of age has had 32 starts for 15 wins, 10 seconds and 3/3, and now his prize money with $78,000 today is in excess of $320,000. A great moment for Laurie Poltridge. He's ridden a couple of winners of the Grand Annual, but today he's won the Grand National on one of the most brilliant jumpers we've seen, being Sharp as. 2, 7 and 4. Jim Houlihan never trained a Grand National Hurdle winner, but he has today. He got Strasbourg home in the 1977 Grand National Steeple, so it's a magnificent moment for him and the jockey Laurie Poltridge and this fabulous animal. Jim Houlihan will have shortly to see, you know, just how good he thinks Sharp as is, and Graham Kelly has the Grand National winning trainer Jim Houlihan.
Well, Jim, congratulations. A great thrill.
Yes, it is a great thrill. It's my first Grand National hurdle.
Magnificent effort by the horse. Beautifully paced too by the jockey, Laurie Poltridge.
He's well ridden, and he is a lovely horse.
And only made one, perhaps, sticky jump.
That's right, yeah. He was trying to rest him a bit too much at that point.
And he put a lot of pace on, though, over the last 2,000 metres.
That's right, yeah.
And what about the Grand National Steeple next week?
Well, we'll see.
Good. Congratulations, Jim. I know you want to go and lead him in. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Jim Houlihan, the winning trainer. A delighted Laurie Poltridge. Great success for him. One of the best jockeys in the land, there's no doubt about that. And Sharp as is the winner of the Grand National, and you've seen it live on Channel 10. We'll take a break, come back for the presentation of the Dominant Grand National Hurdle Race.
Draws to it. Oh, he got into it, hit it hard, but he's still 3 lengths in front. In second place, So Just now, and Quabite running on down the outside. 1 to go on the National. Coming down to the last of 18. Planinka got close to it, but he got away with these 3 lengths in front. Harnett went for the whip. Quabite finishing strongly on the outside. 100 left to go. Planinka 3 lengths in front. Quabite trying hard in second place, but they can't pick up Planinka. And Planinka wins the Grand National Hurdle by 3 lengths. Quabite was second.
After the running of the dominant Grand National Hurdle and the official Victorian dividends pending correct weight, Sharp as $1.30 and 70 cents. Raft Boy a gallant second, $1.35. Star Count third, $1.25. The Quinella $8.25. The running double $15.40 and the trifecta $74.40 on the numbers 2, 7, 4 after the running of the fourth event. And now it's time for the presentation after the running of today's big race, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Doug Reid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just seen a wonderful exhibition of jumping by a very good horse in Sharp As. The committee are delighted with the field that we had today and the interest and resurgence in jumping races, and that's due in no small part to the assistance we get from our sponsors, and we're very indebted to them, and particularly today to Dominant Chemicals. The congratulations of the club to the owner, Mr. Throsby, the trainer, Jim Houlihan, and the jockey, Laurie Poltridge. I'm sure we'll all be looking forward to seeing if Sharp As can get the double next Saturday in the steeple. It's now my pleasure to request Mr. Christopher Short to present the trophies to the winning connections.
Mr. Acting Chairman, Committee of the Victoria Racing Club, guests of Dominant Australia, ladies and gentlemen. The Spring Carnival, I think, reaches its zenith with the Melbourne Cup. In the Winter Carnival, we have the Grand Nationals. If I may be so bold as to say that the Grand National Hurdle, Grand National Steeple and the Hiskin Steeples would seem to be the dominant jump races of the Winter Carnival. Dominant Australia has had a long and proud association with jump racing in Australia, and we're delighted to be able to continue the association through the sponsorship of the two Grand Nationals. We've been blessed with a beautiful day here at Flemington today, almost like autumn, perhaps a bit chillier, but it's been a lovely day. I thought the race on a dead track was magnificent, and it is a great spectacle to see horses in the hurdle over 4,800 metres, 18 fences. It's a truly wonderful spectacle. Well, to the winner, Sharp As, what a great horse he is, and I'm delighted to be able to congratulate the owner, Mr. Throsby, the trainer, Jim Houlihan, and the jockey, Laurie Partridge. And I do hope that perhaps next week I'm able to stand here and say that for the first time in 60 years we've had a double with the Sharp As winning the hurdle and steeple, but we'll have to see next week. With that note, I'd like to present the trophy.
And very happy owners of Sharp As, and no doubt after today's performance, the best hurdler in the country. Magnificent performance by Sharp As, now 15 wins in the metropolitan area with the Grand National today. And the applause behind me for a marvellous racehorse, and after today, no doubt a champion. We'll take a break, come back live to Flemington.
Sir Agrafo gets over it. He's nicely clear of Memphis, Man Under, and Prince Lindell running on. Sir Agrafo's coming towards the last. He's got a very good lead. Griffiths rides him into it. Here he goes. Over it he goes from Memphis against the Man Under. And what a fairy tale for Peter Griffiths. He'd never ridden a winner in the city until 2 weeks ago. He won the Australian hurdle, and now he wins the Grand National. Sir Agrafo wins by 6 lengths to Memphis. Man Under hanging on. Prince Lindell's coming at him.
Welcome back to Flemington. Only moments ago we saw a great performance by Sharp As to go one better in the Grand National. He ran second to Sir Agrafo last year and has won it easily today. Pete, you've got the update on some football scores.
Yes, Dan. Well, this time last year, Victoria played South Australia on Grand National Hurdle Day. That was a pretty important game of football, but there are some important games going on today. And a big bearing on the final 5, and there we see at the moment Hawthorn, 4 straight goals have got the jump over Geelong, and that's a most important lead to the Hawks. Melbourne Melbourne, 117, trailing North Melbourne, 3-3-21 at the MCG. A lot of people tipping an upset for the Kangaroos. Not much in it at Princes Park. Fitzroy, 117, Essendon, 1-4-10. And the other games we have, St Kilda, 2-2-14, Footscray, 2-2-14, a most important game for the outcome of the 5. And at Victoria Park, Collingwood, 1 straight goal at the moment, trailing the West Coast Eagles, 2-1-13. And, of course, tonight in 10 Evening News, we'll have a full wrap-up, Dan, of what happens in the football this afternoon. But, of course, we're looking forward to next Saturday as well with the dominant Grand National steeple.
Pete, perhaps the people at home heard in the background just how popular a win it was for Sharpaz. He might be back here next week, and if he does, he'll most likely start favourite. But earlier on today, we had the traditional lead-up to the Grand National, the Crisp Steeplechase. And the Crisp was won by Caledonian Concord. Laurie rode the winner and then completed the double, and the horse is trained by his wife, Ailsa. Graham Kelly is, the Grand National winner in that race, knowing that Caledonian Concord won't run?
Well, I think Sharpaz, whether he runs or not, is of course an important factor, but I do feel that Derry Donald, who won the National 2 years ago, ran a very good race today, and if Sharpaz doesn't run in the steeple next Saturday, certainly Derry Donald's the horse to beat.
Peter, it was a big staying performance. We know that Derry Donald can stay. He was running on well, a big improvement on his Moonee Valley run.
Well, Dan, that's the thing you've got to have in the Grand National steeple, is a horse that's going to run 5,000 metres, and staying is half the battle. The way he went to the line, he was most impressive, but, well, Sharpaz, I mean, you'd back him in the Melbourne Cup the way he's going at the moment. He's just fantastic. If he runs, he'll certainly take a hand in the finish.
Certainly the most consistent horse that I've ever seen go over the jumps and on the flat. He could win anywhere. Is he about the best that you've seen, Graham?
Yes, I certainly think he is. He's carried 10 stone 13 in the aisle, which you go back to the good jumpers carried those sort of weights, and he's been able to do it and won all the way and scored easily. So you can't ask for more than that, Dan.
And they weren't ordinary horses. There were some really top hurdlers there today.
Probably the best field we've had in the hurdle for quite some time.
Peter, Caledonian Concord, as we mentioned, he won't run next week, but Laurie Poultry, just what a fabulous day. The Houlihan campers had some bad luck this year, and they've really come good on the right day, especially for Laurie.
Yes, and of course his wife is involved in Caledonian Concord, so it's been a big day for, I suppose we could say, the Poultridge family rather than the Partridge family.
Very well done. Now, Graham, Sharpaz for next week?
Well, if he runs, but I think there's a doubt about him, and Jim Houlihan wouldn't say anything after the races we saw. But I do feel Derry Donald will be very hard to beat, even if Sharpaz does run.
Pete?
Yeah, well, I'm the same at the moment, Dan. I think Derry Donald at the moment, but we'll just wait and see what happens with Sharpaz, and we're looking forward to a great day of action next Saturday here at Flemington, Dan.
You did right. We'll be back here for 1 hour next week, Grand National Steeple Day, as well as the final of the Winter Championship. We certainly hope that you can join us for another fabulous day's racing, perhaps even equal to today, and maybe even if Sharpaz goes around, try to do what Moss Trooper did in 1930 and win twice or both. Bye-bye for now.
This program was proudly brought to you by TAB Telephone Betting.
Sharpaz will attempt a rare double when he lines up in next Saturday's Grand National Steeplechase. He scored a stunning all-the-way win in the Grand National Hurdle today. Next week's task won't be easy. Moss Trooper, the last to complete the double, achieved the feat in 1930. The first today was won by Royal Link, who started 5-1 an equal favourite, led all the way from the dead heaters Rajar's Gold and Sonic Express. The second won by Caledonian Concord, the Crisp Steeplechase, and he proved the Moonee Valley run all wrong, not entered for next Saturday's Grand National. The third was won by Night Prowl over Natural Wonder, who had to concede 6 kilos to the winner. The victor is pretty good down the straight, though. Now the Grand National, Sharpaz 7-4 favourite.
Sharpaz comes to the 400. Here's the second last. Looms in his sights and he's jumped it awkwardly. Lands by a length and a half to Raft Boy and then Star Count Vinciamo. But Sharpaz has been in front all the way. Comes to the last. Sharpaz up and over it. Lands by a length and a half. 2 lengths clear from Raft Boy. He's going to win it. He's drawing clear of Raft Boy and then Star Count. But Sharpaz a magnificent effort with 69 and a half. All the way for Laurie Poultridge and Jim Houlihan. Sharpaz by 3. Raft Boy is second. Star Count is third.
A great win and a first Grand National hurdle for both Jim Houlihan and Laurie Poltridge. Must be a top chance next week. First leg of the double now.
Amy Ocean threading through, and then Braquilo, 150 to go now, and Warngar and Nick in front. Perfect Answer draws level at the 100-metre mark. They'll fight it out. Perfect Answer and Warngar. Perfect Answer got about a head in front, nearing the line, and Perfect Answer drew clear. Wanted a long hit to Warngar. Sir Agravain got out for third, and then Foamy.
The WA Galloper was really the only bolter of the day to score at 20 to 1. Race 6 was won by Universal Ambition at 6s over Dud Hero and Flying Warrior. Instant Policy went out with the big lead in race 7.
Delphi Dazzle, Instant Policy led at the 200, still about 2 lengths in front of Lord Delamere. Down the outside now is Delphi Dazzle. It's Instant Policy in front. Native Neptune trying to reach Instant Policy. Kalahari bursting through. Native Neptune, Instant Policy close. They hit the line. Oh, I can't separate them. Native Neptune and Instant Policy. This is very, very close to a dead heat. And Kalahari...
Judge found a short half-head decision in favour of Instant Policy, just holding on from Native Neptune, with Kalahari third. And the last went to Welcome Night, the South Australian visitor. So we saw 4 favourites or equal favourites successful on what looked to be a pretty tough day. Punters did well. Now the daily double, 1 and 7, 89.05. The extra, again 1 and 7, paid $67.40. There's a quadrella there of $6,193.25, and the quad extra 1, 5, 7 and 3, $2,715.90. Argentine star Diego Maradona.
Welcome back to Sports World. Well, over the past 3 or 4 weeks, the racing highlights have come from Brisbane, but the scene has shifted somewhat. There was a decent race up there yesterday, the Ipswich Cup, and a pretty good race at Rosehill also in Sydney, but the big highlight was in Melbourne. Grand National Hurdle Day, and a very special racehorse out there yesterday, a horse called Sharp As, attempting to win his first Grand National, the first Grand National for his trainer Jim Houlihan. He went into the race as favourite, and all eyes were on him. As you'd expect, the Grand National, with prize money of $122,000 and its historical importance, attracted a star-studded lineup. The 2 champs, Sir Agrafo, who's won the National twice, and Sharp As, plus the New Zealand stars Star Count and Norfolk Dancer, and the Australian hurdle winner Vinciamo. True to form, Sir Agrafo was last out of the barrier, and Sharp As took the early lead.
Sharp As went around the outside to take up the running to lead from Royal Pride, Norfolk Dancer, Rathboy, Quartermaster, Karatache. Vinciamo a little wide going out of the straight from Taranui on the rail, and Sir Agrafo out 4 deep around Zillan Grey. Then Star Count 2 further back, Bell Sierra and Dunrow, and last of all Haven Court. Going up the back, and the leader Sharp As on the Riverside on the first round, jumped it beautifully. They've gone over 10 flights, 8 hurdles to get over with about 2,500 metres to go. A lap to go in the Grand National, and Sharp As the leader. Here we get a good look at him. He rises to this one, and he jumped it beautifully too with a lap to go.
Sharp As continued to jump superbly out in front, and he was left alone until Vinciamo threw out a challenge with 1,400 metres to go.
Over that, Sharp As a length and a half in front, but Patton is tracking up quickly on Vinciamo with 1,400 to go. Sharp As on the flat by 2.5 to Vinciamo. 2 to Rathboy has gone up third. 2 then to Star Count, starting to run on as they go over that, and Sharp As 2 in front of Vinciamo in the National as they race to Chiquita Lodge. 1,200 to go. Sharp As a length and a half. Vinciamo as they go to the next. 2 to Rathboy, 2 to Star Count. 6 further back, Royal Pride. Sir Agrafo's called it a day, and then on the outside of him came Quartermaster. The leader shifting ground at the 1,000-metre mark. It's Sharp As about 3/4 in front. He out-jumped Vinciamo, who walked through it.
That poor jump was the end for Vinciamo, and then Sharp As had to hold off a new threat from Rathboy.
1 hurdle to go in the National, a length in front of Rathboy. They'll settle down and fight the race out. Over the last, Sharp As landed in front. He landed a length in front. He's drawn 2 in front of Rathboy. A long gap further back to Star Count. But Sharp As, the gallant Sharp As, he's holding them in the National. It's an all-the-way win. And the crowd roaring for Sharp As down at the line by 4 lengths. Second is Rathboy, 6 away. Third is Star Count.
The big crowd roared its approval for a champion racehorse, and Sharp As's laconic trainer Jim Houlihan was touched by the performance.
Jim, I suspect that you were finding it a little hard to control your emotions today. It was a very magic moment for you.
Yeah, I was a bit on the toe.
Were you?
Yeah, a bit on the toe.
And after the race, your reaction?
Not bad, not bad. But I'm happy.
Well done, and you.
I'm happy.
You and your horse gave all of us race goers here a lot of pleasure today. Jim, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
I do appreciate what the horse has done.
Jim Houlihan, always the horseman first. Thinking of the horse, Keith Hillier also asked Jim whether he thought he'd run in the Grand National Steeple next Saturday. Jim thought he would. He thinks he's a natural chaser. The last horse to win the hurdle steeple double, Moss Trooper, 60 years ago, back in 1930. So Sharp As has got something in front of him next week. As I said, a couple of good races interstate as well in Sydney and in Brisbane yesterday. Firstly, we go to Sydney with the Southern Cross $50,000 race. A big boom on a horse called Kessam. Brian Smith thought it was the second best horse he'd trained behind Balmerino.
The Southern Cross brought together a very good winter field, including the boom horse Kessam, who was sent out the 6-4 favourite. He was always in a good position, a couple of lengths off the lead. Mick Dippin hooked him out on the home turn, but Never True was going boldly in front.
Into the straight, Never True, the leader over. Remember Peter sprinting quickly. Kessam is 2 lengths away, but closing fast. And then Vain Promise, Mr. Exclusive Party Mood doing nothing. At the 200 mark, Remember Peter and Never True with Kessam coming at them. Vain Promise trying to squeeze through. He can't get a run. Never True still in front. Kessam trying to reach him. Never True is just the leader. Kessam on the outside can't pick him up, and Never True won the Southern Cross. Never True has lasted to beat Kessam, which had every hope. Vain Promise has run third and a bit...
The unlucky runner, though, was Vain Promise. He was third on the fence in the straight and never really got a crack at the leader, and this 3-year-old colt is worth following. The other feature race was the $80,000 Ipswich Cup from Bundamba in Queensland, and this proved to be a minor upset when the 13-2 chance Flinders outgunned the more highly fancied horses St James and Marwong.
Bassie's Pride's kicked strongly at the 200. Bassie's Pride in front, Showmen. Flinders through in the middle, coming after them. St James can't win. Flinders sprinted to the front. Flinders in front of Showmen and Abstraction on the outside. Flinders in front and punched out. He's won the cup. Flinders first, Showmen second, Abstraction third.
Yes, St James and Marwong both missing the place there in the Ipswich Cup. So a good day of racing right around Australia, Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. The highlights, Grand National Steeplechase Day at Flemington next Saturday. That'll be the big race. Well, after the break, we reckon footy's pretty tough, and it is, but so's this next game. World Championships in lacrosse.
West Germany is the new world soccer champion after defeating Argentina in the cup final in Italy. In a scraggy and often spiteful match, West Germany dominated, but it had to wait until 5 minutes from full time to score the only goal of the game, courtesy of a penalty.
Right from the kick-off, the West Germans dominated the final, their first scoring chance coming after only 3 minutes.
Klinsmann trying to reach it.
The Argentinians couldn't get near the ball, and time again, West Germany peppered the goal, but all to no avail. Rudi Völler, who scored in the '86 final, looked like completing a unique double late in the first half, but he stayed on the ball just a little too long, and Argentina breathed another sigh of relief, as too did Bremer, whose bad back pass in the 46th minute became the closest thing to an Argentinian goal in the first half. 50 seconds after the break, and Litbarski almost found the target again after some great skills. But despite having about 90% of the possession, West Germany just couldn't find the back of the net, even when on 2 separate occasions, deadly accurate free kicks from Bremer found unmarked attackers. Argentala, who's never scored for West Germany, made a meal of a delightful pass, and claims for a penalty were waved away by the referee. But then soccer's showpiece began to tarnish. First, Monzon was almost unbelievably expelled after a tackle on Klinsmann produced an acting performance that was little short of disgraceful. And then with 7 minutes to go, the game's decisive moment, a very controversial penalty.
But Bremer finds a way past him.
The wind had been knocked from Argentina's sails, and when De Sotti received his marching orders, again for something fairly trivial, the final had unfortunately degenerated into something resembling Russian roulette. But to West Germany's delight, the final whistle ended all that. So at last, Franz Beckenbauer and his men can go home to a now united Germany with the Golden Trophy, which will tell them that the wait has been well worthwhile. Peter Donegan for the 10 Evening News.
Stefan Edberg has captured his second Wimbledon title after an epic 5-set struggle against Boris Becker. The Swede cruised through the first 2 sets before Becker fought his way back into the match. However, it was Edberg who emerged victorious, winning 6-2, 6-2, 3-6, 3-6, 6-4. Boris Becker is renowned for his aggression and power, but in the first 2 sets he played like a shy little boy. Edberg completely dominated. He took only 56 minutes to race through the first 2 sets, and a whitewash looked imminent as the Swede began to show rare glimpses of emotion.
Look at that little run.
But fortunately for the crowd and the millions of TV viewers around the world, Boris fought back. He found his timing as he began to peel off the winners.
Yes.
He took the third set. And with luck on his side, also won the fourth to level the match.
So all of a sudden, Becker gets a break.
Edberg appeared rattled, and this wild serve gave Becker a 3-1 lead in the deciding set. But it was the Swede's turn to fight back. He broke Becker's serve twice and then had to hold serve to win his second Wimbledon crown.
And he went to the forehand, and it's wide. A magnificent serve on match point.
It was indeed an epic struggle and a fitting finale.
Good friends.
The first one is always very special. This is very special too. You know, after what happened in the French Open, losing early, this feels really, really good to come out and win here today.
If I look back to this tournament, I'm quite pleased to come all the way to the final. It doesn't happen,